community that is there. So we took up the initiative and went around the community, because who feels it knows it.
Absolutely.
And the community, they cried to us, and from our experience, we saw it with our naked eyes what was happening. It was full to capacity until they were dumping outside, which we took a video and did Facebook Live, and it was shared on social media, and the office saw what was happening there. So they rushed and started pushing waste and trying to cover, because at the end of the day, the fence that was there was just to keep the eye from seeing what's happening on the ground. And that place is just a nightmare, which we dug deep and have information from some of the relevant stakeholders that are connected to the dump site. We had very disturbing information that monies were given, and these monies were not actually spent where it was supposed to be spent. God knows why, which we are trying to dig more. And the pressure was made, and we applied for our protest, and we called the whole media to show the whole world whether that was right or wrong.
So I mean, having understand what was going, in that dump site before you actually took up the initiative to actually go and apply for a protest, and then apply a permit to protest. Have you engaged, KMC and other relevant stakeholders within the municipality?
What we did first is when we saw what was happening, we wrote to all of them. We wrote to KMC, we wrote to National Environment Agency, we wrote to the Minister of Local Government and Lands, we wrote to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, because these are the relevant stakeholders.
Absolutely.
We wrote to the Ministry of Health, and we had responses, thank God. And the NEA, being the authority that regulates, waste management and the environment issues that are affecting the whole country as a national body, they wrote back to us, and they organized a dialogue at the agency with all the relevant stakeholders, including, the Office of the President, including the IGP, for the action that we're going to take, regarding the protest. So it was on the 13th of this month, which went successfully. All the stakeholders responded, and KM didn't write back. They made a phone call
when you wrote to them.
And Mayor wanted a dialogue, a physical dialogue, which Saffiyah was coordinating. So she's gonna enlighten us on that, because she was the one doing the correspondence. Because we really wanted to do things professionally. Because once we write, we expect you to write back for record purposes, which didn't happen from the end. They just wanted a physical dialogue, and it was taken out of context that it's politically motivated, which is normal for politicians to react like that. Because at the end of the day, we are very proactive when it comes to the things that we do. And it was a very disappointing statement, but not disappointing at the same time. Mayor coming out in the open, from him, branding us as NPP, and saying that it was a political protest, which is normal for us, because we don't take things for what they are portrayed as us. We just take things as they are, because we are very proactive in the things that we do. And basically, just going back to your question, we wrote to all of them.
Thank you. And now over to Saffiyah. Like he likely mentioned that you were one that were responding to emails and all that. And when KMC called for dialogue, what actually prompted you to reject, having a verbal or physical dialogue than having them to respond to, emails and all that?
Okay, when they first called Jeng, and later on we discussed, because it's important for us to document everything that we are doing. And I instructed the man that actually called us that please, if you can write it like the way we did, and then we can schedule a date and come to the office. We don't have problem to dialogue with them, but he insisted that it doesn't want it. I said, okay. So if I go outside, what will I present to people that came actually reply to us? Just a verbal talk like this. So we want it to be very professional. I guess at that juncture, they didn't want anything to be put on pen and a paper.
Wow.
So we had a reply from NEA, who like they officially write back to us, and we formally take the way it's supposed to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you think prompted them to take that action instead of replying to?
At that time, they were at a tense moment. They feel very pressured because they know what we were talking about and showing up to the people was the truth. There's nothing fabricated there. It's just the facts that we are trying to disintegrate and to show Gambians that, look, the money that was actually granted in that space for them to manage the dump site to that extent of whereas you can go there even feel like, no, this place it wasn't meant for dumping. But it's disappointing at the end of the day, as Jeng said, when we watch the mayor try to downplay that issue. I mean, even going further to say there is like he is going to wait until he sees individual within that perimeter of the back at the dump site as a native of that place
area and
to speak against the issue, then he can actually step in to respond to such type of I can say situations. Well, it's disappointing, first of all, for one to wait for your community to actually vent or show their dissatisfaction towards the service that you're supposed to have done long time ago. And it's disappointing as a young leader. I believe you're supposed not to wait for that time for people to speak. I mean, so that you can act. I think you should act before people will get to the stage whereas they cannot take it anymore. And looking at the propaganda that they played alongside before the protest, the threats, some of the fans will try to send to us. Well, we are used to this kind of a thing. We are prone to it. As an activist, as I usually tell people, when I choose to talk about accountability, corruption in specific, justice, and make sure the truth stands still, I knew that all these things will come around me. So we are prepared for that.
Wow.
And for that being the reason, sometimes it could be challenging. Yes, which makes it very interesting. And we will try by all means to control the situations. But then the message, the focus of the message shouldn't be left out.
Wow, that's quite important. And like you said, that should have not happened. I think, I mean, things needs to be addressed, and if that's actually broken, needs to be fixed, regardless or irrespective of one's status. But anyone who knows Saffiyah can tell, you've always been in the forefront of, I mean, staging or let's say championing or spearheading, I mean, protests. But for this particular one was more of a roller coaster for you. I mean, prior to that event, even having to go and apply for the permit, we've seen so many bullies in the internet. How are you dealing, I mean, with those things around, I mean, during that
if
moment?
you believe what you are doing and you know that this is the truth, you wouldn't have any outer affair in your heart. Because I believe that this was the right thing that we are doing for our community. I think later on people have seen the greater side of what we were doing, and that's what is goes on. For the bullies, I believe they are yet to understand the kind of a person that I am.
Wow.
Because when I bite, I don't let it go. I make sure that it happens. So when we converge and this goes towards the protest, we have heard within the community, even they gave us feedback that some of the mayor fans went around to pay individuals and to compel them not to come out because they believe that they're spreading false information towards us, like he did.
Wow.
And then at Art Africa when he was asked towards the protest. And we are used to that kind of our leaders coming out to say things that we knew actually that wasn't what they are portraying and what is actually happening on the ground is completely different. So when they said that, I said to our team that we supposed to have emergency meeting and see how best we can facilitate it. Okay, there are other things that happen behind the scene when it comes to the protest with the permit. And at that juncture, with the pressure going on, and people were going even to the limit of my family, trying to, persuade them to stop us from not coming out.
Wow, it has gotten this far.
Yes.
Wow.
Because that's how politics it is. Like politically, how people think when issues rise up, they think, okay, when it happened, if we are to be the leaders, the risk factors involved in it. And yeah, I at the end of the day, I enjoyed that part of it, that scenario of it. We went to the headquarters. In that portion, I didn't want to talk about it, but it's good we bring it back for clarity purpose. I took personally the letter at that time. Jeng's parent, one of its parents, had was very sick at that moment, so he couldn't go with me, and I have to rush to Banjul by that Friday and midday, and all of a sudden we forgot some few things that we didn't caption inside that letter, and they have to call us back to go and edit that. Then we can go ahead for them to review it within the week. Okay. So the Monday, at least, they will give us feedback. So towards that issue, going back and forth, and I decided to tell him, your dad isn't okay. Why not we focus on him for now? And later on this, the headquarters will contact us and see how best we can move ahead with the things. And at that time, we have already announced that Monday we will go out and lock down the backwater dam site. And yeah, preparations was, and I understand how people perceive things when such things arises. I was a little bit disappointed with the Gambia Police Force. I mean, the Police Pro, on the report that they did online.
Wow.
When it was about I think some few minutes to 8, and we saw an update from their page that we didn't actually show up at the center. I mean the headquarters. Wow. That was a funny thing, but at that time I didn't want to bring it up to my page because that's not the focus. Our focus is to make sure that the message and what is the issue, the back of the dump site. So once we bring that out again to challenge the police on that part of their speech that they actually wrote, will be out of topic. And the direction that we want people to be will be shifted. So in that case, we talk among us. We said, okay, let's forget this. Let them phrase whatever they want to phrase on that page. We know what was happening. Because at that juncture, I even before they announced that thing on Sunday, I think on Saturday, that's where I started receiving these threats. And we have been engaged by the headquarters on Saturday. Prior Sunday, they put that message out.
Wow.
And we went to where? Bursary, right? We met with the police, I think intelligence, one of the intelligence department they sent to us to meet us. I mean, he was in haste to talk to us. And we sat with him, we discussed, and that is private. And then we told him, because they wanted us to cancel the Monday. And we told them we cannot do that because our people are on the ground, they are set, and Monday is the date that we want this permit to be given. Well, it's personal to them. It's based on their security intelligence that they did, and I cannot overstep that one because they understand that perspective of what they needed on the ground than us. But our main target was to get the security that is required of us. That is our mandate, to make sure that we'll be on the ground and do the necessary work. So when we come on Sunday, we saw that message up. And although we were disappointed, but as activists, you have to work ahead, and you need to be very smart in the things that you are actually working towards to make sure that it becomes a success. On the Monday morning, and that's the time we rush we engage our people, calm them down, and on Monday morning we went there and officially, sat with them, talk to them. They understand our message and what we want to do. And alhamdulillah, we went on. They said, okay, within this week, they will look into the permit and they would give us feedback towards it. So within that week, I think on Wednesday, we spent the whole day at the police. But then again, in every work, you have to also give credit to whom it's due. To be quite honest, we have seen that loophole. I even spoke to one of them about it personally at personal ground, but then we thanked them on that. Later on, the permit was given to us, and we went out and showcase our dissatisfaction towards the Babucarr site in particular, which the mayor is trying by all means to suppress the information, to hide the stench from the general public. And that's why when we said the protest, he rushed, sent people underground, one, to first make sure that people didn't come out to pay them, because there are people who said it. We didn't actually have such sensitive information without them actually coming to us and voice it out. They said they paid. Maybe not from the mayor directly, but some of his militants, loyalists, they paid certain individuals to try to silence them.
But you got any evidence to actually?
Yes, that's one part. And the other part, they started, even the gate of the dump site wasn't actually good. He has to go and call for the maintenance of it, to make it so that they can close it. Like that day when we went to the protest, we see what they did on the ground. And he also leveled it because part of that document that we read, it's indicated that they have to not only put red stone, spread it out there, but they have to make it a good constructive road, whereas they have to construct the road, whereas the trucks can get access inside, dump, and then goes out. So we understand that they were not actually in line. They didn't do it in line with what is in that paper, because we read everything and we went on the ground, although they didn't give us access to get inside, but our drone did, because this is technology. So part of the project, each of the things that they put on the ground, we have seen it. That is the solar panel that they were talking about, the 6 solar panels within, and some other tank, like 2 tanks I can see within the drones that we shot at the area. And then there's a site also that he built, I think, for the scavengers after when they do their work or segregation process or whatever, where they will get inside the room and undress and change their clothes. And we have seen that he has actually put those things in place. But even the water, we investigated that if it is the tank inside that they build, is it actually drinkable, or are they using it? They said because those tanks are purposely in case of the dump site had to catch fire, and then they will use the tanks to water it before it get to escalated to another state. So we understand they were in desperate situations to cover up some of the things that we were saying. Or the truth cannot be hidden forever. We have to face it. We have to try ways to solve the problems. And that's why the entire KMOM was suppressed, was choked with Mali. Because the dump site is full. They don't have a ground to dump. It's full. They were dumping right at the gate. And people take videos of this. The truck will come to the gate and dump. But alhamdulillah, today, our team has actually yelled something that we can look at and get impressed with.
Your process has forced them to actually and all that. Yes, and also a lot of folks also have actually criticized the turnout of the people. That the turnout was actually very, very low, and in fact, some went on to accuse y'all of actually bringing or forcing small kids to actually join the protest. Can you tell what is your reaction?
Okay, right. You bring that question. In activism, you are not looking at the number; you are looking at the message. Is the most important thing. But in certain work, I don't believe in having a lot of crowd when at the end of the day you wouldn't have any impact. So it's very good, people, to take note of that. You alone can see a problem within your community. Come out and protest against it. But the message you're going to put across, that's where the differences comes into play. Now, when it comes to the side of the kids, we brought the kids out because part of the document that they actually received from SOS, it's indicated that part of the project is going to the children within the dump site.
Wow.
So the 200 families, what is their benefits part of it? We asked the people, they said they haven't seen it. The 200 families that they covered in that project, they didn't benefit nothing from that project. And they have to be given that access to education, right? They have to be educated and other benefits. At the end of the day, the kids will not go to the site trying to dig or look up to anything there to pick. That was the mission inside the project, according to what we read. So coming up with that, we are going to send letters across the departments that are available to take care of these things. So this is the reason why we have to show evidence of those children to the world.
Yes, but I mean now.
And we didn't march with those kids to the ground of the protest. We put them under the tent. When we came out of where we have actually converged, it's shown in the video. They are the one who take the pictures, trying to downplay or change the motive of our protest. But they cannot. It's not achievable. And even child's fund, that is Astaghfirullah, is a child protection area.
Child protection.
Part of the project, they are mentioned to play a role to train certain individuals to understand the dump site. That is to take care of the dump site. So it is funny in Gambia how things happen. So when we saw them coming out pumped to condemn it, we are not surprised because it is part of their work to protect those kids. They didn't do it.
Wow.
They didn't. So today they see, actually, or let's say they realize what we have shown about the kids. It's so that they build concern towards that. After taking the money, after training individuals within the dump site that has to regularly monitor the kids around that area.
So they also
have they done that?
Part of the project at some point.
Part of the project.
Wow.
So it's Gambia for us. We have to jealously protect what we have. This stench at the dump site or the effect of that, whatever that may come from that environment, one way or another is going to affect us in the long run. So the better for now, for us to come together and solve the problem and take it as a serious issue. Because remember, when it is about to happen, there is election year. They all will come and promise us with big hopes.
Politicians, though.
And that was part of the campaign trail of Tariq. He campaigned for that dump site. So today, seeing that after 8 years, and we know it's funny when we saw some of them, saying that, the dump site had about 40 years, whatever, and the place was like this, or let's say the place was worse than this. Okay, fine. You come into play, and you told those people that all these difficulties you are currently facing at the dump site, we are going to solve it for you. You gave them your words, and through that, they trusted you and voted for your candidate to win.
So has he betrayed that
So
trust?
now, after 8 years, still the community is facing similar problem. What should I call you? It's a failed project. The waste management at the dump site is a complete failed project.
Wow.
Which is not actually good in the record of the mayor. It's a disgrace.
Wow. Okay, now let me actually go to Jeng, and then now that you've actually protested and we've seen some positive changes at some point, at least it triggered the KMC to go and actually the needful and all that. Now what is next for you? What are some of your demands that you actually were demanding from KMC to do? you must actually have a petition. Then actually you present that actually for them to make sure that lolo, because at least balanga process feka am nga we and all that. So take us through that.
Actually, what we did is like Saffiyah said, we were equipped with not just touching the problem, but with solutions. And the solution is twofold.
Okay.
Is the dump site closure and the waste management of the municipality.
Wow.
Because when you look at dump sites, it's very technical and it's a problem on its own.
Wow.
Which we have masterminded. And the petition, yes, we have diverted, not focusing on KM, because for us they are not serious.
Okay.
We want to focus on the authority that is responsible to regulate, that is the NEA. So we are giving them all the information they need. We have a technical proposal that is written, which is going to them. And touching on the children's issue, we have written to UNICEF.
Okay.
We have written to Child Protection Alliance. We have written to the Ministry of Health and the National Environmental Agency and WHO. For the fact that there's just this information, we have a risk assessment that we did, which we have discovered that within the range of the dump site, there are, particulate matter, which is PM 2.5 and PM 10.
Wow.
And we also discovered there's carbon monoxide within the air.
Oh.
And also sulfur dioxide and volatile organic compounds and dioxin and furan, which is from plastic, which is capable of giving a lot of people cancer, not only within the perimeter of the dump site, because when the wind blows,
it can spread.
It can go as far as, God knows. So that place can cause a pandemic right there. It can make the whole Africa sick because human beings are carriers. So the petition is there, and also the solutions, everything is packaged, and all these institutions are going to sit down because we want to do a joint venture action driven project to make sure that that place disappears. As for the waste management, let Ben Sudanese administration take care of it. And I'm sure he will not be able to take care of it because he's distracted by whatever is distracting him at this moment. He's physically in the office, but he's not there. And he has just a couple of years to go. He has a year to go into whatever movement he wants to create, and another year for his tenure to be finished in 2027. Another mayor is coming in. And what we want to do, we don't want to wait because the people cannot wait.
Okay.
The people around the dump site don't wait. And the people that are producing waste within the municipality, which they pay their service fees every year, their waste is not collected by KM. It's collected by the donkey carts. They're paying extra monies to these people that are the donkey carts that are going into the municipality and picking up the waste. Because 99% of the waste that comes from the municipality is collected by the donkey carts and the tricycles. So where is all those 5 million that was invested in all those trucks for the Mbalit project? How is the municipality benefiting from it? That's a question of its own. And regarding the dump site, I want him to know, and his administration, that we're not taking it lightly. We are not taking it lightly. And the next protest that we are trying to organize, we're going to take the community to him. And we're going to take waste on a truck for him as well. And we're going to force him to resign from that office because he's not fit anymore to sit in that office because he has woefully failed the community. He has woefully failed the Gambian population.
Now, that will be interesting. Just out of curiosity, since this protest actually happened, now has he made any concerted efforts beyond going to interviews, having to say this is politically motivated, having to reach out to you to actually sit and have dialogue? Because this backward dump site is not, of course, a one-man thing. It actually needs collaboration from different entities, and then we pick it up from that. But then just being curious, has he made any effort to actually reach out to say, hey, look, Mr. Jeng and Joof, Miss Joof, can you please come, let's have this and all that?
All I see is finger pointing, character assassination,
Defense.
accusations. So he's just in his world trying to defend himself, which technically is a sign of guilt, because if he was actually on the right path, he would have engaged. You see, Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States,
Yeah.
he made history that our politicians should learn from. It's the team of rivals. No matter how much he considers us as rivals, he knows that we are technically conscious of what is going on with what we are trying to advocate for. I think the best thing he should have done is to call for a meeting, a dialogue, so that physically we can interact and see how best we can come up with solutions. You see, our doors are not closed for anyone. We are Gambians, and we don't have boundaries. We believe in synergy.
Okay.
Because an element, if it is absent in synergy, the synergy is not complete. And he and his administration is the missing element of the synergy. God knows why. Either is this political abstract barriers between them and the incumbent. God knows what. As for us, we are not interested in that politics. We are interested in the welfare of the people, period.
Wow.
Let them deal with their politics. But as for what they're supposed to do, we believe that no matter what, cancel the Minister of Local Government and Land, because relocation needs land. God knows where. NEA needs to go and assess the environment so that when the population grow, we will not encounter another dump site. And there shouldn't be dump sites. There should be sanitary landfills, engineered sanitary landfills. And what are landfills? Landfills are engineered dumping places where the waste will be reduced to a level that before it reaches the point of disposal, it's just nothing to dispose.
Wow.
The only thing that will be disposed and buried is things that are not reusable, recyclable, and things that are probably organic, because organic, it goes, off. And when it goes off, you can convert that,
To
school
mine.
days when we are young, compost.
Yep.
It could be fertilizer, which I will give BAC, Become Area Council, that credit. Right now, they are with a company called Dresden. They are doing compost at Tambana right now.
Wow.
And that same compost is being taken as fertilizer and resold to the farmers, because that's organic fertilizer. There's a lot that you can do with waste. So as for me, what I believe is come together, say that, okay, this is something that we all share. It's a common problem. We share one enemy, and our enemy is the waste that is choking us and the dump site that is killing our people, including us. He said one statement that, okay, we are not living close to the dump site.
Yeah, he said that.
And what does that supposed to mean?
Wow.
That place should not be there in the first place. No matter how far you are from that place, everyone is at risk. We are all exposed to the risk of that dump site.
Every life is important regardless. Anyway.
Exactly. Even if one individual was living there, it's the right of that individual for that not to live with that place.
Okay.
Everybody cleans your backyard and come and dump it in someone else's backyard, and you want to force that individual to accept. And all I see is excuses.
Wow.
We are not living in a time of excuses. The world has opened so much. There is so much that the world has given. That place is not a place of excuses. You cannot tell me that you have limitations, you have barriers. You have to be creative. You have to think outside the box.
He has to accept the responsibility.
Yeah, it's creativity. Once you are creative enough, like she said, you have to be responsible. Responsible. Two words in responsible. You have to take responsibility. Responsibility in these two words. Ability to respond to anything that comes your way. Because no matter how much little resources you have, financially, no matter how much resources you have, technically, you should be able to put together. You see, synergy. It's like concrete. Concrete, you have stone, you have soil, you have cement, you have water, and all of them, these components, come together to give us that strong force called concrete. So bring together what you have. You see, the quality of a good leader is to think outside the box, to see Jeng and say, okay, Jeng throws stones at me, but he has some quality. Saffiyah, likewise, see somebody in NPP, see somebody in GDC, see something in UDP. Pick from these resources that have quality, bring them together. Go outside your lane, swallow your ego, swallow your pride, be pragmatic, be Gambian, put Gambia first, and create something that the world has never seen. Then that place would not have been there after 8 years. And you still telling me that people that are living around the dump site, they found the dump site there. That is an understatement. That is sick.
It's a big disappointment
Wow.
for a leader to speak like that.
Wow.
That's not what we expect from him.
Okay.
And if people are watching and have the understanding of what we are trying to say, we are not the enemies of mayor, and we don't want to be. We have a responsibility. Our money, that's what is being paid to him. That is our taxpayers' money. So you cannot say that, okay, when people speak against your system, those people are an enemy to you. You cannot say that as a responsible leader. You should be able to build that thick skin to invite, build a diversified system, whereas you can even invite your critics, okay, in certain discussions, if you see that they're talking about things that really make sense and or can better your system. Because at the end of the day, we want a better system. We want a better service.
Oh, okay.
And, there are a lot of things that we have over the years. To me, before I actually go out to speak on something, we have done our research.
Okay.
Over the years, and we have seen this space, and we know that, okay, if a tool KMC focus on that side, trust me, by this time around, we will not be talking about it.
Wow, yeah, it could have been different.
Because within the 72 hours, what they have actually achieved in that place, it was a shocking moment for all of us.
Wow. Okay. And how did you, like Jen rightly mentioned, that you've given them an ultimatum? How long would your next actually protest take place if the mayor didn't do what you think he needs to do at the dump site?
This one will catch them off guard.
Wow.
We are not going to
Announce this
one. The way we really want to do it, we'll pick up a large amount of waste and we will go and dump it for him at KM.
Wow.
And so that they can feel the stench. And even if the authorities give us permission, we will burn the waste so that they will have some gist of how the smoke is.
But would that be, a good idea, having to consider how KMC is located, in the heart of Westfield, whereby we got a lot of folks going by their business and all that?
They are not better than the people living around the dump site. This should be a national crusade, but this is a national disaster. That dump site can make the whole Gambia sick. We want people to take it serious. You know what I mean? We want them to see the level of gravity that is there. You see, we are talking here, bro. Cancer is very harsh, right? There's a lot of plastic waste that is generated, and what comes out from waste, from that plastic waste, dioxin and furan. It is so toxic to such an extent that the dump site during the dry season, these scavengers, they will go and burn. They'll burn the waste to get whatever they're trying to get there to resell. Or the dump site will ignite fire on its own through the methane that is trapped in there. And sometimes there's some explosions there on the dump site because of methane is trapped. So there's fire that is burning under the dump site. That used to be a quarry before. It used to be some deep holes that is filled with rubbish. We don't know what we are dealing with, my friend. And close to almost 50,000 people are living around that dump site. It could be a national disaster. it could be very catastrophic. We're not joking with this. This is at a very serious level. And I'm sure the steps we're trying to take here is going to bring all the authorities, that is relevant authorities, on the round table, because it has happened once. It's going to happen again with the NEA, and we want to start with the children first.
Yes.
Through UNICEF, Child Protection Alliance, and we're going to have the WHO, because we want to take things at an international level, because this is an international crisis. If you see UNICEF is here, WHO is here, and you have SOS also, who are directly affected at the children's village. The reason why they are here is to make sure that where we stop, they can go further when it comes to technicalities. We can borrow technology from outside. We can borrow whatever expertise that we need to make sure that that place goes. Because there should be a will, because where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Good. That's important. But now that, I mean, like you rightly mentioned, I mean, it could be probably they don't got the human resources to actually do that, even though perhaps funds may be there, but maybe the technical know-how probably they may not have experts to actually execute that. But now that, like you said, since you are interested in what's actually going on in that dump site, which is quite dangerous in the long run, haunt all of us in one way or the other, you know. I think having a very I mean positive round table discussions around this thing would actually makes it more.
My brother, if you have an office that you run for 8 years,
yes,
and you have a problem as big as Babucarr dump site, you should have set up an R&D, research and development unit. And the R&D is going to pick up individuals who are going to study with relevance on the particular issue that is affecting you. Get individuals. If they need to study abroad, facilitate for them to go anywhere, to go and grab the capacity. Once they have the capacity building, now you have a plan, a comprehensive plan. You have a whole year, not 1 year. You have 8 years in office right now. There should have been a comprehensive plan. And the individual that they put at the dump site as the dump site manager, he doesn't have a clue.
Wow.
He doesn't have a clue. All they do is collect money at the gate.
That's it. They just focus on
And
collecting money, and then nothing is
facilitate illegal dumping. Because what
sad.
happened recently, there was a container of chicken, chicken thighs.
Wow.
That was off at the grocery dump site. It should not have been there, but you know, with the rubber, you know, they have to collect money here and there and
So
dump it
right.
there. And it was a disaster around the area. People have to evacuate their houses and go and live with their families because of the stench. And when they confronted them, you know what they told them? They have no solution.
Wow.
Wow. And imagine such type of irregularities. Simply because today, if you take a dentist, if you have somebody with an eye problem and you take the individual to a dentist to operate his eye, he's going to be blind.
Wow. That's
what we're going through. People, you know, things like that should be taken seriously. But as for the norm in the Gambia, we have to face disaster before we bring solutions. It has to be catastrophic.
Yeah, for the longest of time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fok mo dem be tasaro yahu, ñu dora ñu ne ñu defar.
Come on. We're not proactive anyway.
So we cannot continue having leaders coming in and out.
So I mean,
the same issue.
Like the dump site compared to previous years. I mean, even though probably one may argue that little progress has been made, you know, when Talib actually came in, how would you, on a scale of 10, how could you rate Talib's performance as far as the BK dump site is concerned, Saffiyah?
With the issues that I've seen on the ground, if I have to rate it, it would be 30%.
Wow.
Out of 100%.
Oh.
Yep.
As for me, there's no scale.
Really?
When it comes to the dump site, you don't even have to put it on a scale. That place has to go.
Oh my God.
He could have found a solutions towards that.
Do you think he could have done better still?
Definitely. 8 years is not 8 days, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has the opportunity to do the needful.
Okay.
So what stops him from not doing it is a big question mark. And looking at the kind of money that is, has been granted at that space, I mean, I couldn't believe that the waste went to that length.
Wow.
It's like they just dump in, no segregation, no nothing. Collect funds from the people, and that's it. They are relaxed.
Do you think
It
could be an oversight from the mayor's office end, or is a total
I don't know who we
negligence?
actually give that responsibility, but to be quite honest, if I was him, I wouldn't go easy with those people that I give the dump side responsibility, because they fail him, and this could hurt him in his political career. It's for sure. The dump side is a space that I believe any politician that neglected is going to hurt you very bad.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yes, now let's actually forge ahead a little bit. I mean, like we actually come to the 2026 draft budget. Maybe probably spend 5 or 10 minutes on that topic before we wrap up the show. But I mean, like I know another project actually looming, by the way. But I mean, I'll come to you personally. I mean, we understand over the years, especially this 2025 has been, I mean, a year of protest for her. We understand with the gala thing and all that. I mean, but then at the initial stage, you were one of the prominent, actually active members of that movement, Gambians Against Looted Asset. But in the longer we've seen Saffiyah resigning, I mean, and all that. I mean, some actually would say, hey, I'm not going to take Saffiyah serious anymore, because feel like one gala, and now that she's also into another protest thing and all that. Take us through gala, nakalang for them, and all that. Gambians wants to know.
Okay, interesting. Since I left that organization, I haven't gotten any media house to interview me about Gala in specific, because there are a lot of things that was going on in Gala, and to me, as a writer, I'll write a book and publish Gala story there. Anybody that wants to know what happened in Gala, you can go and have the book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could it be?
I'm not just an ordinary person that will sit in platforms trying to castigate my fellow youths. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. I'm not trained into that. You see, when we go out there with the intention to bring change, obviously disagreements have to happen at some point as organizations. We cannot move without it, bro. And being the only female within the number of men in particular, is an amazing work, and it's an amazing experience for me. So if I have to go into details towards Gala's, story in specific, wait for my book.
Well,
It's out.
could that be a marketing strategy for your work and all that?
It's literature. You have to be creative.
Well, because
and that's what I'm trying to do here. If you need answers to that,
the reason why I ask this, because you've seen, some of your, Gala members that has accused you of being a spy in their midst and all that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a type that wouldn't sit in platforms to talk ill about my fellow youths, that I have done so much service with them. That is one part. So the other part is, if I'm to give out that story, it has to be in a book. And that's what I'm preparing.
That's quite respected. And then now we can actually move out, seeing the 2026 draft budget, whereby you have the Ministry of Youth and Sports allocated with 146 million. You have the Office of the President being allocated with, of course, $740 million. And the Office of the Vice President also been allocated with over $370 million. Now, a lot of political commentators, or I could say social commentators, has it that the budgets, the amount of money being allocated or budgeted for the Ministry of Youth, it's quite small compared to the President and of course the Office of the Vice President. As an activist, both of you, what is your general overall view of this budget? When we go back to statistics, they will tell us the Gambia is actually 65% of our population is made of the youth and all that, and having to pump at least 146 million into youth matters, I think, is actually quite questionable. So what's your take on that, Jen?
You see, when it comes to government and the way they do their budgets, is done through consultation. And I think if Gambia wants answers, I think the Minister of Youth and Sport should come out and tell them why, what, because he is the one that should present his case so that money will be allocated to him. Because every government institution, they have their needs and they have their necessities. They have their priorities and they have their urgencies. And based on that, money is allocated. So I think what we should do as people who are on the other side, and I'll consider myself as a position because I'm an independent candidate, and us people on the other side, I think we should have a different way of handling things. Today, if the budget allocation or the budget activities is, for instance, this is January, it is supposed to come, let's say, in December. I think we should not wait until December when things are out, we start criticizing or pointing fingers. I think there should be some amount of scrutiny that is done and proper suggestions from us on the opposite side, what we observe, because they cannot see everything where they're sitting. As us on the ground, we have eyes everywhere and we have ears everywhere. We interact with the people, we jump into the cars sometimes, even with local transportation. We hear people cry. And based on what people are crying about, based on what is needed and what's necessary, based on the urgencies and the priorities, I think there should be some form of consultation that is done between government and stakeholders, which is the opposition, to sit down on a platform with experts. Because at the end of the day, if, like I say, if you bring a carpenter, to deal with some other issues, the carpenter all he sees is nail. He will just hammer it at the end of the day, because all he knows is hammer the nail. So bring in the right people. I think you should have, connection and contacts with people who are good with figures, and bring them down, sit down, and look at all these
Analyze
monies that are out there. Because people think, like, let's say 100 million or 300 million is money. That's nothing. That's little money. At the end of the day, if you convert that into dollars, it's just some couple of dollars. So at the end of the day, what we need, as for me, is a comprehensive plan of what we want to achieve holistically. We should have a shared vision. Both the opposition and the government, there should be a shared vision of what works and what will work for the country. Then we go to the next stage on how much each institution should have, justified. Why should this institution have this? Well communicated. And I think all the government officials, all ministries should come out to explain to the general public. They should have some form of PR and communication. Let them speak to the general public. They shouldn't even wait for the questions to be asked. All government departments, Office of the President, someone should come from there, explain to the general public, oh, we have been given this amount of money. The reason why we've been given this money is broken down. We have this much expenses. We have X and Y that we invest in. They should explain thoroughly. Then the Minister of Youth and Sports comes, okay, this money was allocated to us. It's this amount of money. This is broken down. This was what was given to them initially as a proposal for our department, but it was trimmed down to this. The reason why is X, Y, Z. There should be some form of transparency, because that is not a private office. That is a public office. Nothing should be private. So once that is on the table, now the interaction comes in. But there are few political parties that I have some regards for, which is the PDOIS and the UDP. Talk less of whatever shortcomings, but they are opposition parties that you see them down the line. They can point fingers and scrutinize and make sure that they put things on the table. But as for other oppositions, all I see is they just wait for some loophole, someone to fall. They'll throw stones and they will watch you until you have mistakes, and they will come out with But that's not the way politics is done. The way politics is done after elections, let's all be Gambians. Let us scrutinize our leaders in a positive way, not to push them to the hole.
That can yield positive results.
Yeah, we shouldn't push them to the ground and tell the whole Gambia, okay, yeah, he fell down. Whilst you watch him fall down, and falling down of that leader is going to affect you indirectly in one way or the other, because he's the driver. And we are all passengers on the
yeah, definitely.
So once you mislead your driver, when there's a crash, we all feel the pain.
Good. And Saffiyah, briefly, what's your take on that as well?
Okay. I guess with the budget, people have right to scrutinize it.
Mhm.
If they see that we are making 65% of the population,
Mhm.
so we need to have the greater good of it. I mean, the greater side of it.
As you fight.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe that's the correct answer.
Mhm.
Yeah, for now.
Good. And Jeng, I must ask you this because you are a politician and we've seen the current political climate in the country, and then having NP, I mean, United Movement for Change having to split with UDP. I mean, NPP also building their grounds. Former president who is currently in exile also claiming coming back to the country. But first, how could you describe Taliban's, departure from the UDP with this movement? How would it affect, the president, the incumbent, and also how is it going to affect the UDP as a party, and all of, how will it actually affect the political arena at large?
Actually, as a chess player, I don't know whether in the game of chess.
Yeah, I don't play it anyway.
I mean, when you just finish, just go do some Google about chess. I treat our political game, our political arena as a chessboard.
Okay.
And when it comes to the chessboard, it's all about moves. You either make a good move
Tactics.
or you make a wrong move.
Okay.
And the opponent is watching. Once you make a wrong move, your opponent capitalizes on that move.
Score points.
Yeah. So I treat it as a chessboard. Talib moving away from the UDP is not something that I see. It's not something that really took me by surprise. I'm not surprised.
Wow.
Because I can read body language and I can see it coming.
Have you foreseen this?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when you look at body language, when you look at moves, and he was making moves beyond his territory, right?
Okay.
Taking sugar and giving it to people in the provinces during Ramadan, and we've seen him going out of his territory, into other territories.
Making calendars.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, his territory is KMC. And when you look at moves, we can read in between the lines. We have eyes.
Okay.
I can sit. Many have eyes, but people have different eyes. You know what I mean?
People with evil eyes and all that.
Exactly.
We
are not just politicians, like Saffiyah said. We are writers, and also we read. We are not. We just read. We just don't read political science per se. We read political science. We can read science. We can see things. We can hear voices. Somebody can say something, but we can see what he says. Because at the end of the day, we have monitored and we have seen and we have seen the move, and we knew that it was going to come. And when it came, we are not surprised.
Wow.
So now what we should ask ourselves is, what is the next move? I know for a fact that today, as we speak, if I'm going to all of them, he wouldn't have made that move.
Wow. Are you sure that he will get rid of
I am 100% sure that deep inside of him,
wow,
he knew that he made the wrong move. But if you surround yourself with mediocre minds, people who don't think with their heads, they think with their intestines, excuse my language, you are never going to make a good move, because every move they push you to is driving some cash in their pockets, because it's an enterprise.
Wow.
Right now, our politics have been some kind of, we have political entrepreneurs. So he's surrounded by political entrepreneurs who don't understand the dynamics of politics and moves, because all they do, because this is not a fashion show, bro. This is not a talent show.
Wow.
This is not about, okay, here's na, nice na, munna solo, munna wah. This is not about that. Politics is deep. But if you want to take someone and brand him,
it's beyond our imagination.
If you want to take someone and brand him and hail him with the people that is around him, yola, and you make that move, and this is a very dangerous terrain. Politics is not profit and loss. And that is the mistake he made. Talib is a businessman.
Wow.
He understands profit and loss, maximizing profits and minimizing loss. But politics is a game of life and death. Your moves have to be calculated. This is another world, a different world of its own. So he was manipulated, pushed, and he's just, you have all these parasites that are connected to him, you know. I'm sure he's not thin by now because he's fat, excuse my language. But they will suck him dry.
Wow.
And he doesn't understand. I pity him. When I look at him, I'm going to hear him.
But you said the movement is not just centered around him, you know, like movement it has been the thing, has been saying in interviews and all that.
But like because there's an element in magnet. That's the reason why it can pull, right? So the magnet is there. They have their magnet. They have their circle. They have their crew. So at the end of the day, like I say, you know, jokes aside, we are all Gambians. We're all brothers, you know. And I just analyzed that, okay, he made a wrong move, and deep inside him now he's regretting it, because at the end of the day, he deflected from the most experienced political party.
UDP, yeah.
He was built by the UDP. UDP is experienced when it comes to foot soldiers, when it comes to the dynamics of Gambian politics, because at the end of the day, they master the crux of politics. That could have been an open university for him to learn. But he did not graduate. He didn't wait for it. He was in a haste. Wow. And he was pushed as well by people around him, like, you know, these human satans, you know, Taswis, you know, trying to pull him out.
When you want it all.
So at the end of the day, sometimes I can be very crazy when it comes to, you know, the way it comes out. It's the reality. Because at the end of the day, then told you
no, he wanted all. He wants it all. He wanted the leadership.
Then total state will have they can bring you forward when it comes to our governance, right now as we speak. The bench have to be the benchmark have to be so high. We have to raise the bar so high to such an extent that not anybody can just come out and say, okay, give me a position to run.
Well, I mean, probably Barrow said that president. Do you agree, Nekom? Barrow is the guy that actually sent a very, very bad president, that even Kepukuneka a good president, because they think that probably he's not delivered up expectations.
I mean, honestly, they didn't go torn, because at the end of the day, Adama Barrow didn't select himself. He was selected by a coalition. And coalition bo hamne Halifa Salampa, Borom Hamla. Coalition bo hamintini UDP and they have experience. Coalition bo hamintini Ahmad Bayangpa. All these politicians were there. So they went through a process and selected him as their flag bearer to go head to head with the most powerful man in Africa. Then that is the Yahya Jammeh.
Do you think was the selection based on competent or based on number of?
I mean, let Halifa Saleh come out and explain to the Gambia people. He was his spokesperson, right? Because all the process went through his hands, right?
Yeah.
So the selection process was done. Yeah. So this is not now about the president. It's about the presidency.
Yeah.
Right.
The presidency.
It's about the presidency. You know, the president is just an individual who is sitting there, but it's about the presidency, the structure. So we should understand, you know, the division of power. We should understand the executive structure, who does what, why, and where. So we should understand the dynamics of our politics.
Okay.
So looking at that benchmark, I'm trying to say, raising the bar so high, you know, it's very obvious. You know, it's very obvious. Today, the most educated people on the face of the earth, bro, they make the greatest catastrophes. You go into the system, you find people that have master's degrees, people that have PhDs. But look at our system. The system is stagnant. And what makes the system stagnant is not the president, right? It's the system that is there. People are there holding positions. And these positions is just like a machinery that is out there. It's just like robots interacting with robots. Human robots, organic robots who are programmed, interacting with what? Papers and computers. A set of procedures, set of data, you know, set of information, and executing it and implementing through the monies that are collected, as taxpayers' monies, which is spread on all departments to make sure that we have a system that works.
All right.
So now it's not about who is wrong, it's about what is wrong.
Okay, good. And of course, there is no time, but I must ask Saffiyah this, because now you Saffiyah politician because lately I've seen you pushing the good work of the, I mean, chairman of the Camara Council. I mean, Yankuba Dabo is doing a very tremendous job in West Coast. I mean, is Saffiyah an activist? Well, like politician, like activist, like well, nakala. You want to know?
I'm an activist, but when I see something great within your system or let's say a department, I will promote it for others to emulate such kind of thing. So what attached me to Yanks is I think earlier on it was GT that I even endorsed in the sense that when they were going in for the
Primaries and all that.
yes primaries initially. Later on, I started following up Honorable Yanks and see the kind of work he's doing in BAC, and I got inspired.
Wow.
Through that, I said, okay, I'll be honest enough to come out and what's the agenda for him and to show Gambians that it's not about the color. It's about the individual work. So looking at him at that tender stage, just within 2 years of his service, and the way he's delivering, obviously he need Gambians. He need everybody to join hands and support him because he's leading the anti-corruption agenda right now.
Wow.
Throughout. So unless and until let's say I see something that he did that is not in line with what we are looking in for. But as far as he continued this trend, he will always have my support, 100%.
Wow. And then finally, as activists who actually care so much about environment and nature, the people talk it. The president actually was, gifted, a lifeless crocodile. And then it actually triggered widespread, comments from social commentators. What happened? Because last time it was a hippo, and this time around it was a crocodile. Moving on, Namoneka. Then species, the Gambian species. What is your comment on that?
Yeah, last time I think it was owls that they actually killed. And I believe the nature reserve, right? They have to step up and protect our animals. It doesn't matter. People have to be sensitized enough of that. So the story around it was given to the president. I'll be honest, I didn't see the president receive it.
No, he hasn't received it physically, but it was presented at the...
part, I decided not to comment in it. Yes, I like to be honest. To give my opinion towards the issues.
What do you think?
I'm not in support.
Okay.
The people that did it, I think they are nature reserve guards.
Hunters Association.
Hunters? Okay, the Hunters Society. So they should know better. They should have it. So it's not done. For me, it's not done.
It's not right.
Yeah.
How about you?
Actually, I'm the gossip free. I want to talk about issues that will just, diversify and give us that in depth of where we are and where we're supposed to go. The world is at a very high stage. Before I was coming, I was watching a documentary from China. These people are at another level. They are taking us 50 years ahead. Building bridges like 165 kilometers. Going under the water, doing tunnels. The world has opened so much that when I go out and look at Gambia, I say, oh my God, what's happening? We are so behind that. All these little talks. It's just little talk for me. Like let's just. You know what I mean?
But animals are very important, though. We are losing a lot of our species.
But
it's not about blaming the president. He has
no,
never
what
done
I mean,
it.
what I mean is, there are a lot of issues that we should talk about rather than talking about who gives the president what when it comes to animals. So what I'm trying to say is, the issues that we should have on the table to discuss should be so relevant that those little things are not going to surface in our topics and talks. The people that should take care of that, if they're out there, because they are authorities that are responsible for, making sure our animals are safe, and they should just get out and do what they have to do.
But do you see that as a small thing?
To me, it's. I don't even see that on the internet because I'm not on Facebook and I don't do much of media.
Okay.
Even these programs that we have. Saffiyah sometimes show them to me, like cut them, do the video. I watch it with her, and I hardly even go back to watch, because we're too busy, bro.
Wow.
Trying to make things happen.
Okay. I would actually share more. But then, thank you so much for coming. But before we actually wrap up the program, what would be your message to the KMC and of course those responsible for back of the dump site, because I know you're very serious about this dump site issue and all that, and then Saffiyah also wrap it and then we call it a night, inshallah.
Okay.
We are coming back.
Okay.
We want to tell him that we are coming back, and this time is going to be very, 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 very.
Well, my
and-
last words to him is that if you want to if you want to be a good leader, you have the listening ability, please pay attention to your critics. They might be giving you information that may better your system.
Wow.
So don't push them aside. Don't take them as enemies. That is the important message I have for him. At KMC as a whole.
Wow.
We are saying the dump site. No.
Wow.
Right now we working on another stage.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're coming. And the monitoring aspect for the waste management in the country, we're doing that full time.
Inshallah. All right. Thank you so much, Saffiyah, and of course, Uncle Babucarr Jeng. I mean, he's that vexed guy, though. I mean, I'm not tell us, of course, anyway. But regardless, it was a very insightful, discussion because environment didn't go out. Because health I'm sort of wahaba. Just this morning, I hosted folks from the, Gambia Kidney Association. They've been telling me the difficulties they've been going through, the dialysis and all that, and then having to get a dump site, in the center of, a whole, it's just absurd. Man, I've lived in Kololi for good 3 years. Time moved from Europe, Sahar, some that labor distilleries and all those things. And then the center is just, it doesn't sound like very, very positive and all that. But you're calling all on Sunday to actually put hands on deck. When you are, because you go out of this, obviously, most of us in the model, thank you so much for following this program. And Bakari, and of course, Sanya, the technical guy out there, then get them to learn something next Thursday, inshallah. I said, I don't call you not how I jump, and of course, Adam Makasubatamit. Yeah, we will China, I'm relaxed, but I'm not next week, inshallah, guide the media program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ku yor du sa xat te quality jas na ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom jas na pire sa ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jas na your number one stop shop ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garmi yi ndaxte quality jas na amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jas na amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren ji ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jas na ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi make-up artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay make-up product
Fenjola, déglu